Vishal Khandelwal joins us now, and let's take a conversation forward. Vishal, so what were you watching on Saturday? The coronation of the king or Munger and Charlie?
King Charles at Berkshire.
Good one.
It's quite a moment. It's quite a moment actually. I mean, both are
That's true.
landmarks on their own. I think this was the first physical AGM after the COVID, if I remember it wrong, if I remember it correctly.
Yes.
Okay. So, for me, what struck out, Vishal, was that AI cannot replace human intelligence. Would you say that that was the big takeaway?
I think that was one of the biggest takeaways. So I think the world was, or probably the investing community was waiting to hear what Warren and Charlie had to say about artificial intelligence. They have been vocal about it in the past, but in a more formal manner in their AGM. I think they said what they've been saying all the while, right? That human intelligence is what it is, right? And artificial intelligence can definitely aid humanity, but as far as thinking and decision making is concerned, I think it's what human intelligence is all about. So I think, yeah.
Other, I guess, takeaway for all of us is that while there seems to be this chatter that the reserve currency nature of dollar would change, but Buffett is clearly saying that it's impossible because there is no other alternative. Now, history has told us that alternates always get created when there are imbalances in the world, and right now the American dollar is going through a big imbalance.
No, I agree with Warren here as well. So definitely there have been noises around changing the world reserve currency, and there have been issues with dollar-denominated kind of stuff right over the years. But and of course, given the fact that the U.S. economy has been through its own bad times and good times, so there has been noises about creating an alternative currency. But I think there's no alternative currency as of now. People have talked about making the Indian rupee as strong and probably taken to a place where it becomes a global currency of choice. But I think we are still far away from that. So dollar, as Buffett says, would still remain to be a global currency and a reserve currency for some time.
Charlie also says that value investors be prepared for low returns. I wonder why is he saying that? In India, is that the problem?
I'm sure. No, I think there would be problem, I'm sure. So if you look at the nature of any games, including investing or cricket, right? If you look at the one-day internationals cricket scores for the last many years or two or three decades, right? For the team batting first, on an average, the average score for the team batting first has increased, right? So what differentiates the winner is the amount of luck that you have in a game, right? Everyone is skillful. So as far as investing is concerned, as the average IQ of investors has increased, as people have become more smarter, more wiser as far as investing is concerned. So what really differentiates someone from others and what really creates that alpha, I think luck has a huge role to play over there. And that's the reason I think that's what Buffett is also saying, that going forward, given the fact that people have become smarter, there's no more information arbitrage that people can benefit from. There's no more edge that people can gain as far as information analysis is concerned. I think the only edge that remains is behavioral, right? So I remember Charlie saying that if you want to really do well as investor going forward, you have to be more rational, you have to be less dumb, right? So I think that is one big takeaway for me as far as this point is concerned about value investing becoming tougher for investors as a whole.
And I think, Vishal, the same old saying that they've repeated time and again, that stay the course, right? In fact, they jokingly said, we don't understand the iPhone, but we understand the consumer behavior, and we'll continue to stick by with all our investments.
I think that's what Warren and Charlie are all about, right? If you remember Charlie talking about estate planning, someone asked him about what advice do you give for estate planning, and he said, just hold that goddamn stock, right? So they have been talking the same things for the last 30, 40, 50 years. The issue is that since they talk stuff that is so simple, right? Most people don't really adhere to that. People want complexity in their lives, in their investing lives, right? And the simplest way to be a good investor is to keep things simple. The simplest way to be a good investor is to do less dumb things. The simplest way to be a good investor is to have a long-term horizon. They've been talking about all that stuff for many, many years. People who have followed that have benefited from it. Most of them who've not followed that because it's so simple, have actually failed in their investing journey. So as simple as that.
Vishal, there was a specific mention on how the US government or the US administration has handled the current regional bank crisis. Now, there is a bit of a yes and a no. It was need of the hour, but it was not handled well.
I think there would be comments everywhere, and everyone has a different take on things, right? So, given the way the bubble has been created over the last many years, ever since the 2008 financial crisis, and easy money policies have been used by central banks globally to foster liquidity and to create those asset bubbles, right? So, I think the level of complexity that we are in, as far as money is concerned, as far as currencies are concerned, as far as liquidity is concerned, I think it's not difficult. It's not easy to manage, right, for anyone. So there would be commentators on how the U.S. government or U.S. central bank is handling the crisis. I think it's only with time that is going to tell how things are going to pan out. We are, I'm sure, given the way the money has been printed in the last many years to ward off crisis, even in 2020 COVID meltdown, right? So we may be in for a big crisis in the future, but nobody knows when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen and who's going to get impacted. But definitely we are in that situation where times are going to be tough. And again, Charlie, I think, has reiterated in multiple interviews that he's not so optimistic as Warren Buffett, right? He is concerned about how the world has panned out, how money policies has panned out, how people have been used to easy money and asset price inflation. So I think times are going to be tough, and that correlates with the idea that investors need to brace themselves for lower returns going forward on average.
Vishal, so when are you heading to Omaha next? We were just chatting whether you have already or not.
No, I have not been. My idea probably my thought was to go next year when Charlie turns 100. Yeah. So I was one at the Daily Journal meeting once, and I've never been to Omaha, so probably next year for sure.
I asked Charlie a question once, right? That was 4 years ago.
What?
No, I'm saying you asked Charlie a question.
Yes, that was 2018. That was 2018.
We try you, Vishal. How are things otherwise? What's the new thing on your agenda for this year?
Nothing, just doing the same things as Buffett says, right? As far as investing is concerned, I adhere to what they say, just holding the goddamn stock and holding the goddamn portfolio that I have. As far as my work is concerned, just teaching the same things to people about how to invest sensibly, how not to lose their hard-earned money, right? We are in a world which is getting very noisy now. Over the top, we have artificial intelligence that people think is making life very easier. But there's no alternative for human intelligence. There's no alternative for human thinking and decision making. And in this time, people who can think well independently without the help of artificial intelligence, I think are going to do well over a long period of time. So I have that optimism about India. I have that optimism about human thinking. I think things are going to pan out well. So that's what I'm working towards as well.
You mastered the art of behavioral finance, and you always tell how to invest your hard-earned money. But the question which I get as a fallback is that please ask Vishal that we are ready to work hard. How can we earn money?
See, it comes down to where do you want to earn money from? Do you want to earn money from the stock markets, or do you want to earn money and put your hard work into the work that you're doing outside the stock market? So my advice is to people is that you should not be looking at stock markets to make you rich unless you're a professional investor who's managing other people's money. Most people are not professional investors, so they should not look at stock markets as a way to make money. They should look at stock market as a way to create long-term generation wealth, right? And it happens over a long period of time. So whatever I say, right, it's very difficult to change people's attitude towards money because most people think stock market is like it's a easy way to make money. But I think history has proven time and again that it's not the case, right? But people who have treated stock market as a way to create wealth for themselves, for the generations forward as well, they have done really well. So that's been my lesson to everyone, I think. So you put your hard work in terms of earning money outside the stock market, and then you save well, then you invest well, and then you do the hard work of holding your investments, you're holding your good investments for a long period of time. If you can do that work well, which sounds simple, but it's not easy, I think you will create adequate wealth for yourself over the next 2 decades.
Yep, and spend wisely as well. Vishal, great to have you on the show today, and we really hope you get to go to Omaha next year.
Hope so. Thank you so much.
Okay.